Hello, welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shante Roddy. I am coming on today to talk to you about how to get your targeted EIDL grant of up to $15,000 approved. So how do you overcome your denials? There have been many entrepreneurs and small business owners who have applied for the program, have gotten denied. They've thrown up the white flag. But I want to let you all know that you don't want to lose hope, that there are things that you can do to get approved and get funded for your business. So as we are welcoming people in, as you're joining, do say hello. Let us know who you are, where you're from, what your business is. Let me know if you have already received your invitation from the SBA for the Targeted EIDL grant. Have you been approved? Have you gotten funded? And definitely I want to know if you've been denied because again, all hope is not lost. Hopefully the information I shared to you today can help you overcome some of those denials, especially in the instances where there is an error on behalf of the Small Business Administration. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you to all of our subscribers who support. If you're not subscribed already, do subscribe. Do give a thumbs up. Do share out this video. Tag an entrepreneur, small business owner you know who you believe would benefit from the information that I am sharing with you today. Okay, so for those that are coming on, just a reminder, we're talking about how do you overturn a denial of the Targeted EIDL grant. So there are some instances that you may be able to overturn it. We know that technically there is not a reconsideration process. Okay, so we know that. I've said that in all my videos, that the SBA says that if you apply for the grant, you really need to get it right the first time to submit correct information. And I agree, you want to do that. And they say that there is not a reconsideration process, right? So the funding is limited. You're not going to be able to file for reconsideration, but there is ways for you to possibly get your application reconsidered. Okay. So I actually had one of my peers contact me the other day regarding her denial. Okay. So she was denied based on the 30% reduction in gross revenue requirement, okay, which says that you must be able to show that you had a 30% or more decrease in gross revenues in 2020 as compared to that same 8-week period in 2019. The SBA, when you apply, they have you fill out this table. It has a column for 2019, 2020, 2021. And in every column, there's a month for every month of the year where you have to indicate what you received in gross sales for every single month. You have to do that when you submit your application. They will use that information along with your tax returns that they are also going to require you submit to determine if you met that 30%. So I have already heard of people saying that they were denied, although they had the 30% deduction. Now, reduction in gross revenues, gross receipts. The bill says, the law says, the program says you do not have to be able to demonstrate a loss for the entire year. All you need to be able to do is demonstrate a loss for an 8-week period in 2020 compared to that same 8-week period in 2019. So they're comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Okay. So, but some people are coming back denied. Now, if you know, now you have to know without a shadow of a doubt that your calculations are correct, that you did have a 30% decrease. If they come back, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, comes back and say that you are denied, and you know that you had the decrease, then you want to follow up with them. So I'm going to tell you the steps to overcome some of these denials. The first thing you want to do is send them an email. Similar to what you would do in a regular reconsideration, what I would do is I would put in the subject line, Targeted EIDL grant denial error with your application number. And then in the body of the email, you want to explain that you received your denial, why you were denied, and that the denial was in error and why. Now you have to be able to prove why it was in denial. So you're not just going to say, if you can't prove it and you know that the denial is accurate, then don't go through this process. But if the denial is not accurate and it's in error, you want to send them an email, but don't just do that. So you want to make sure you keep all of these records. So send them the email. Then you want to call them and get a representative on the phone. Find out what tier you're talking to. Try to talk to somebody at a higher level that can really help you. But talk to someone. Let them know that you received your denial letter, but that the denial was made in error. Okay, so if your denial was because you could not, they said that you did not have a 30% decrease, and you know you did, or you do, and you can prove it, you show it, right? So they may ask you, okay, they have the information that you submitted, and you point out how their calculation is wrong. So maybe they had a representative that calculated based on your annual gross receipts instead of the 8-week period. Then that's an error on their end. Then you can point back to the law, the bill that says all they have to do is verify an 8-week period. Okay. So don't just throw up the white flag and say, oh, well, they denied me. Look, you have to fight for your money. Okay. Don't just throw up the white flag. So you're going to do that. If for some reason that does not work and you're still confident that you are correct and that the denial was an error, you're going to go to another step. You don't stop there. You may add, I would then ask, may I speak to a manager? Is there a way to escalate it? Okay. If they say no, you can't talk to a manager. If they say yes, talk to a manager. See if you can resolve the problem there, overcome the denial to get approved so they can correct it. If they don't solve the problem there, or they say no, the next step you're going to take is what you're going to do is contact your regional SBA office, the director, and call them and explain to them the problem that you're having, that you were inappropriately denied the EIDL grant and why, and be ready again to provide proof that the denial was in error. Now, say you get to that point, you're able to talk to the director of the SBA. They come back and still there's no resolution. Even before that, when you call the SBA, you can do it simultaneously. After you call the SBA, and I will write them, I will email them, the district office, and I will call them. So you're going to email and call, okay? Then you're going to follow up, and you're going to contact your congressional representatives that represent your state. You're going to call them and you're going to email them. What they can do and will do, they will call you back, okay? You explain to them your situation. They will send to you a release form that gives them permission to talk to the SBA on your behalf and try to get the problem resolved. So yes, it may take time, but if you want the $10,000 and possibly $15,000, you ask yourself, is it worth it? We have already been fighting for a year. Okay, I will fight as long as it takes to get the money that I'm supposed to get. So you let me know if you're ready to do what it takes to get your targeted EIDL grant. Okay, so you want to let them know. You go to all these different steps until you can get it resolved. In the interim, while you're doing that, if you need to go to Twitter, where all of your congressional men and women are, you take it to Twitter and let them know what is going on, right? That you deserve by law your $10,000 EIDL grant. You were denied. You've been waiting. Your business is suffering. Whatever you have to do, stay professional, but let them know what's happening, so that you can get results. Take it to however you need to take it. If you are in with the news, you have connections and you want to take it to the news or the news channel or the newspaper, I would do that too. Doing that, okay, with everybody doing that, that's how you get improvements made. Okay, that's how you can overcome some of these denials that are, especially if they are happening in error. So let's take a denial such as the tax returns. You submitted your tax returns, they can't find them with the IRS because the IRS is behind 24 million tax records. Okay, that's not your fault. So they know that. Okay, so they're going to come back to you and say, okay, we don't have your tax records on file. Even though there's not a reconsideration process, I'm going to ask you to take the same steps that I just mentioned before. Okay, and you want to let them know your taxes are complete. That is not your fault. That is, the IRS is behind 24 million tax returns, right? You also want to make sure that you send a request. You take that form 4506T, request your tax returns and see what it comes back with before you even apply, so you know if it's on record or not. But even if it's not on record, it's not your fault that they have not processed the tax returns. Okay, so you're going to take it to the next level. You're going to let your SBA district office know. You're going to let your congressmen and women know. You're going to go on Twitter and let them know that why are they denying you $10,000 to $15,000 when your taxes have been completed and the IRS is behind 24 million tax records. Because the tax records have to be on file. It has to be in their master file. If it's not, you're going to be declined. But again, you don't have to just accept that, right? You have power as a small business owner. You have a voice. You have to advocate for yourself. I tell you this because I have done this. Not all the grants have come easy, right? So it was easy, but there was an error, a glitch, a system glitch, whatever it was, 3 different times on 3 different grants that I applied for personally, where I was declined. Had I just said, oh, well, I'm going to just throw up the white flag. Oh, they denied me. Maybe next time. No. If I know that I did everything correctly and it was not an error on my end, I will go out to whatever lengths that it takes to get the money that I'm entitled to. That's how I was able to overcome 3 times, including a grant with the state of Ohio, because I advocated for myself. Whatever number I had, whoever the decision makers were, I found them. If I can get through to one person, I called another person till somebody answered the phone. And that's what I did. And I email and I keep record of all these correspondences. Okay. I went to Twitter. I will go to the news, and I have gone to the news. Okay. So if it takes me to get that far, that's what you have to do. Okay. So again, you have to advocate for yourself. Even if you are denied because you don't live in a low income area, or or maybe the map said that you were, and they said that you're not, and you're denied. Again, go through the same process. Okay. Even if you are denied based on low income, right? And you don't meet the 30% reduction threshold, right? The bottom line is everyone that applied and successfully submitted an EIDL application in 2020, right? Because this program is for those that applied on or before December 27th of 2020. And you check that box that said you wanted not the targeted, but the EIDL advance when it was open. Every single eligible business was supposed to get the full $10,000. And we did not. So we've been fighting for it ever since. So now they have opened this program now, but they're still putting limitations on it. And regardless of if you live in a low income community, or if you can prove a 30% decrease in gross receipts, you should get the full $10,000 of the balance thereof anyway. So I would follow the same process and let them know. I was denied based on the fact that I don't live in a low income community and I do not have 30% in gross receipts. However, the CARES Act law states that I am entitled to the full $10,000 or the balance thereof. And again, I would take it to the district office. I will call my congressional representatives, and I would go to Twitter. Because at the end of the day, everybody, regardless of where you live or what if you have a decrease or not, you should get the grant. So we have to keep fighting for it. So advocates are continuing to fight for us to be able to get the full $10,000. Okay. So I understand they want to give it to the hardest hit businesses and the communities, and that's great. But they really should have just said, we're just going and vet them out. I believe in the vetting out, taking it through the process, verifying tax returns and all of that. But give everybody, all the small business owners that you should have gave it to back in 2020 that have continued to suffer, give them their grant money. Okay. So, but there are actions that you can take. So, because I get emails every single day, comments, questions, inboxes every single day on what to do. I got denied. I need this money. This is a grant this is tax free. This is free money. Number one, it's a grant and it's tax free. Okay. As a grant, hey, you could get up to $15,000. So why would you give up on that? Why would you give up so easily? Right? Everything doesn't come as easy as we would like. The process, we can make it easier. I have resources and tools, but sometimes you come against challenges, right? But there are ways that you can overcome those challenges. But if you just say, okay, I'm just give up, then, you won't have an opportunity. But so don't give up on the process. Keep the faith, keep being persistent, and use the power that you have as a small business owner to get your funding. Okay. So I see there are comments on here. I am going to allow opportunity if you have questions about the targeted. Again, we're talking about the targeted EIDL grant that's up to $15,000, how to overcome a denial. Okay. Especially if this an error on behalf of the SBA. If you know it's an error, you better go through all the steps until they can correct that error, right? So like right now, I'm monitoring, right, the situation. And if you haven't seen the last video, I did 2 other videos, one on the top 5 reasons they will deny you. So if you haven't seen that, go back there, okay? And I also followed up with the video on getting unstuck from the pending status to getting approved on the EIDL and PPP programs, because I submitted everything, right? The first day they sent me the invitation, submitted everything, and I was monitoring it in my portal. I actually got a portal, was monitoring it, said processing. So based on how it was worded, it said processing, it said all these 3 different steps were complete, but it had a button that says submit for processing. I'm like, why does it say submit, but it says processing? So instead of just waiting, I called to find out, just to make sure I submitted this application. It says processing. Is there anything else I need to do? Is there anything I'm missing? What's the status? That's when she informed me that because I hadn't hit the submit button, it was in process, but it was going to keep sitting there. No one was going to review it until I hit the submit button. So then I informed other people, and then they were like, oh my goodness, I had no clue. I had been waiting for the SBA to send me some verification, right, that I'm approved, and I never hit that submit button. If you never hit the submit button, they will not review it, okay? So it, again, is just sharing information. Once we learn something, then we come and we share with you all so that you don't get stuck in the process, and you can move past that to get approved and get funded. Now, this grant program is the max is $10,000, the balance thereof. Then they are rolling out the second part of it, which is the supplemental grant of $5,000. That's how you can get up to the 15. Now, the $5,000 supplement will go to those businesses with 10 employees or less, that also have 300 employees or 10 employees or less. They also have that 30% 30 to 50% which is a substantial loss, or the 50% or more loss, which is considered severe loss, which would get you to that 15,000. Okay. So again, whether you are stuck in the process because you haven't heard anything, you haven't gotten an email, you don't know where your portal is, you want to take action. Don't just sit there for months and not call or send them an email. In the description in the show notes is the contact number for the SBA and their email. So whether you're stuck and you need to get unstuck and approved, or you got denied and you need to follow up and let them know you want another review because the denial was an error. Or if you just want to let them know that you should have gotten the grant regardless of all these qualifications, right, or criteria based on the CARES Act law, I would send the emails and I would call, right, all the way up the chain. So from the rep to the manager to the district SBA office to your congressmen and women, to Twitter to the news, however far you need to take it to be able to get your money. Okay. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm just going to see if there's any questions. And I know some of you that are late coming on, again, I just want to know, have you received, what status are you in? Have you received your email invite from the SBA yet? Because it's still people that is in your inbox and you haven't looked in your inbox, or it's in your spam folder and you haven't looked in your spam folder. Okay. This program will not be open forever. It's based on how much funding is available. It's first come, first serve, and it's in the phases that they're rolling it, that they have already described that they're rolling it out in. Okay, so they're already on the second wave. First wave were those that received a partial grant. Second wave are those that didn't get any funding because the funding ran out. That is me. And then they're going to start with the supplemental grant. So you want to definitely make sure that you respond to the emails. So did you get an email? Have you been approved? Have you been approved and funded? If you've been denied, let me know why you've been denied, and let's see if you can overcome that denial. Okay. Let me see if there are any questions out here. For those, so I have some people, new people, because again, we have new people all the time. Just for people that aren't aware, we have helped thousands of entrepreneurs and small business owners get millions in free money for their business. On the screen and in the description in the show notes, you will see links to our resources and tools. We have a free grant tracker on our website that lists up-to-date grants, pitch competition, all the stimulus program funding. So you have all the information there. We have our winning grant application cheat sheet and checklist. This has all my insider tips, everything that I use to help other people get grant money, free money for their business, and what I use to get free money for my own business. I hosted a few live master classes. We made it available on demand, so you can have access to our Win Grants with Ease Masterclass bundle, which includes the video, the audio, the PowerPoint slides, and a 51-page ebook. All these tools have helped entrepreneurs secure thousands of dollars for their businesses. So whether you need, look, I think we're not even talking about $10,000 between EIDL and PPP. Alone, you can get with one program $100,000 in free money for your business, right? Right? If you're self-employed, you can get up to $41,666 in free money through the PPP program. If you are applied for EIDL, right? Again, grant up to 15. The loan, the SBA already announced you can get an increase in working capital for up to 24 weeks, right? That's more money for your business. There's national grants, international grants, state grants, county grants, city grants, all over the place. So there is tons of money, billions of dollars going to small businesses. So I want you all to be able to get your piece of the pie. There is money out there, but are you ready to get it? Is your business positioned to get it? Do you know what to do to win the grants? If you are having challenges, we have the tools and resources. I've also opened up my calendar for one-on-one consults. If you need extra help with PPP, consults on for EIDL, whether it's the targeted grant or if it's the loan program, my calendar is open. The links are in the description, and I will make sure I drop them in the comments as well. Okay. So some people are saying that they haven't gotten the email yet. Some people have. Some people are still waiting on approval. Some people have been approved. We definitely know some people have been funded, but we still have a lot of people that are in the waiting phase. Someone is saying that they were told last week that there's some unknown error that they're working on. So again, you know, the SBA makes errors, so let them know that, right? Get on the phone. I'm sure, you know, they would acknowledge their error. If they have an error, they know. I'm sure they know about it, right? And so again, and if they don't, you want to make sure that they're aware. So Denise is saying she was awarded $1,000, and the SBA said they ran out of funds. Right. So what you want to do is just wait on the new email. Check, monitor your emails closely, people. Don't miss the opportunity. Okay. So this is for those gig workers, self-employed, independent contractors, network marketers, small businesses, nonprofits. All are included in having the opportunity to get access to the Targeted EIDL grant and the loan for that matter. Okay. Everybody is not going to get the the SBA may ask you, they may send you the 4506T, email it and have you email information back. Because someone asked me, they were like, the SBA has asked me for this, this, and this. Whatever they ask you for, give it to them. You know, people are asking me, okay, should they be asking me for this? You know, they're asking me to take a picture of my face and side. Yes, that is legal for them to do. They're verifying your identity. They will ask you to submit the front and back side of your driver's license. Okay. They're validating that you're who you say you are, that your business is legitimate, that it was in operation to meet the qualifications, which is January 31st of 2020. So they're making sure that they properly vet so that the money goes to the right businesses, right? And not these made up, fake, fraudulent businesses, stolen identities that happened during the earlier rounds, okay? They're trying to avoid all of that, okay? So again, look out for that. If you have any additional questions, please leave them. I always circle back after the broadcast. But you know, this is an opportunity for you to get a financial lifeline for your business. What will grant money? What would $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or more? How could that help you in your business? What would you use it for? Let me know. Okay. We know that this money must be used on business purposes. It is not for personal use. But there are so many ways that you can use it in your business, whether you're hiring a new staff, right? Whether it's employees or contractors, whether you need to invest in marketing, in promotion, whether you need new equipment, you need to pay for utilities or your mortgage or your lease. So there's just think about the operating expenses. What do you need to do to recover in your business? You can use it for that. Okay. So again, hope this has been beneficial for you. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. Again, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to our channel. Give this a thumbs up. Share it out because sharing is caring. There's still millions of entrepreneurs and small business owners that don't know about these programs. They don't know that they qualify, especially the self-employed, the independent contractors and gig workers out there. Yes, you qualify for these programs that are available. But the funding is not going to always be here. Time is running out, right? For EIDL and for the grant, there's dwindling down, and for PPP. So do take the time, go to our playlist. We have free videos that have helped many as well. in your leisure, watch the videos, learn about how to qualify, how to overcome some of the challenges with the programs, and then get your money. Okay. Thank you so much. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact. Continue to stay safe and stay in good health. Have a wonderful day.